The intro music is boisterous and happy and wonderful and loud. And if you took that music and multiplied it times a -1, you'd have my, not even attitude, just energy level today. So it's quite the juxtaposition. And this is how we're going to introduce whatever episode number this is of the Clarey Podcast. Welcome to it. How are you? I am tired. I don't know why. I've been getting tons of sleep. By the way, let's knock this out of the way. I was going to talk about it later. Might as well knock it out now. I'm decreeing this last half of September and the first half of October self-discipline and regimen month, or forced discipline and regimen month. It's been a while since we had that, and not out of any particular reason. Last time I did this, I don't know, it was like 9 months ago, maybe a year ago, as far as I could tell. I didn't have a lot of energy. I was kind of down, depressed. It was weird. Like, you start pushing that limit. You start, I came back from Wyoming and had gone on these great many adventures. And then I just was lethargic. I didn't have, you'd think, okay, I don't have to work. You'd think, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. Look at this life I got. I could sit and relax. And all it did was drain me. And so I thought, okay, you got to get some kind of schedule, some kind of regiment going on. And so I came out with Forced Discipline and Regiment Month, where I said, that's it, we're getting up. We're going to do this. We're going to chumma. And I told them, I had ran, you guys know me. I ran and I worked out. And but it was what we could call maintenance working out. I said, forget it. So I decided I was going to run 6 miles every other day. And the days that I was not running, I would lift weights. And the benefit of doing that is that I've kept that up ever since. So I have maintained my physique in that past month. My heart rate, I checked it. It's 51 beats a minute. So that's a good thing when you force yourself to do it. But I don't know. It was high time I do it again because I am just tired. I'm wiped out, and I have no idea why. I won't lie to you. I kind of jumped the gun. I'm 2 days into Forced Discipline and Regimen Month. That's when I decided to force myself. So to be fair, I'll go a month and 2 days, and then you guys can go a month. But I just had to do something. So I had to change sleep. I'm starting to run out of variables. So I said, no, I'm going to get sleep. So I've been getting about 9 to 10 hours of sleep every day. I go to the gym. I don't rue it. I don't like, And after doing that, nothing. I want to go back to sleep. That's all I want to do. And but since it's Forced Discipline and Regiment Month, you got to go. And basically the goal is you are constantly engaged, you are constantly working or doing something until you are tired and you got to go to bed. So whatever it is in your world, be it work or a project you're working on or physical, lifting weights, working out, exercise, that's what it is. Oh, and coincidentally, before I forget, I talked about this before, it's check your nuts. Have you checked your nuts? All right. Ladies got all this breast cancer awareness. Boys, testicle cancer. That's easily preventable by simply checking your nuts. All right, so go fidget with your nuts in the shower. That will come with Forced Discipline and Regimen Month as well. So go out there and do whatever it is you gotta do. So hopefully I'll wake up as the course of this podcast continues on. I had gone to the gym. I had an observation. I knew people in the country and the world were getting dumber. I knew it. A lot of people, do you have statistical analysis? These assholes out there, instead of admitting what everyone sees happening, here's a perfect example, okay? Asian drivers, all right? Shut up! I don't want to hear it. It's true. Asian drivers got the moniker Asian drivers because a disproportionately high percentage of them suck at driving. Now, you have to qualify that statement, you have to point out that it's the first timers, the ones that come over on the boat or the plane. Because then their kids, they're fine, they're normal. Matter of fact, I'd say in some regards actually kind of superior, because I remember back in the 90s, it was the shit for the Asians over in St. Paul, big Asian community over there. They'd put on those big fins. Remember that in the 90s? But they'd take a Honda, and they'd spruce it up, and they'd put these big honking fins on it. Well, they're very good drivers. They were just as good as anyone else. But it's the ones fresh off the boat. Yeah, you suck at driving. You do. And that's not racist or bigoted. It's just a fact. And everybody knows it because we've all seen it with our own eyes. And there doesn't have to be a freaking study to prove it. So for those of you people out there, oh, well, how do you know? Do you really know? Just shut up. Yes, I know. People are getting dumber. You see it every day. And there is statistical analysis out there showing that the population is getting dumber, that we are going towards idiocracy. And a lot of people would say, oh, well, that's because the developing worlds have higher breeding rates and they don't have as high as IQs. Forget that. No, forget that. I'm not talking global. I'm talking here, right here in the United States of America. People are getting dumber. They're getting slower. And the way I can tell that is because I went to the gym today driving, and it was one of those things where I don't know how many times it has to hit your brain before it actually makes it to the frontal lobe. That might be an interesting study where something has happened a bunch of times. You know it in your unconscious mind it's been happening, but it never makes it to the frontal lobe for you to say, aha, look at what is happening. Here is a phenomenon. This shit has been happening, I'd say at least for the past 10 years. Or maybe progressively or slowly or subtly happening for 20 years. I just didn't maybe know. But I'll put it this way. All right, you're coming up on a stoplight. All right, let's say you got 3 lanes you could choose from. You're a ways away from the stoplight. You see the stoplight up there. It's red, and you got a selection of cars. Now, let's say in the 3 lanes, from left to right, you have the following cars. You have a semi-truck, you have a minivan, and then on the far right lane, you got yourself, let's say, a sports car of some kind, right? Now, which lane do you choose? Do you get behind the dump truck? Do you get behind the minivan? Or do you get behind the sports car? Right? Historically, logically, if experience has told you something, you get behind the sports car because you know the dump truck is physically incapable of accelerating to the speed that you want when that light turns green. You know the minivan is being piloted by some soccer mom or some putz with his children that's got to drive. They were driving 90 miles an hour before. Oh, now we got children. The presence with our children. And now we got to drive 10 miles an hour or so they just creep off of that thing. And then you got the sports car. Okay, I'm going to go with the sports car. Well, it doesn't happen like that. It didn't happen. I pulled up. I was coming on the way to the gym. Not the exact same scenario, but I had my choice. And, it isn't as simple as one car. I think in one lane it was a moving van and then 2 cars. The middle lane, it was a Honda Odyssey. I know those because those people drive that vehicle slower than all fuck. And I think 2 cars. And then the far right lane was unmemorable, so I'm thinking it was like a sedan or something. So I get into the far right lane. Well, you know what beats everybody? You know which lane beat it? The guy with the moving truck. The guy with the moving truck beat everybody. And it goes against common sense. You got the trucks, and then they happened on the way back. There was a semi-truck, and that one went the fastest. The freaking cars that are not weighed down, that are not towing fucking freight, cannot beat the semi-truck or the moving van off the line. So now it's a crapshoot. Now you might as well get behind the semi-truck. Now you might as well get behind the moving van, because probably these guys actually drive for a living and probably want to get to their destination quicker than ever. Everyone else is just like, I don't know, just a haze has taken over. Some kind of bacteria has gotten in your fucking brains. You just, well, we're gonna drive. And it wasn't like this 10 years ago. Certainly wasn't like this 20. You could bet your bottom dollar that if you got in the lane behind the sports car would take off faster. You could go ahead, cut in ahead of the other 2 lanes, and then chumma, you're off to the races with nobody in front of you. But no, not anymore. Now it's just choose your poison. It doesn't matter. It's idiocracy. It is. 20 years, now it doesn't matter. you might as well get behind, seriously, you might as well get behind the line that has 5 vehicles in it, as opposed to ones with the 1 or 2, because who knows, it just takes one. Just takes one dopey, lazy, got nothing going on in your life, spoiled American, I don't mean this to be a thing like, well, you know, it really sucks when you're driving. What I'm pointing this out is that it is a symptom. It is proof of a decline in people's intelligence. There's a decay in the quality and the caliber of people. And we already could tell this by looking at, music going from jazz to rap. We can look at this from fashion. We can look at this from everyone going from relatively clean skin to pierced and tatted up fucking piles of human goo. That's what I'm going to call them. Piles of human goo. I think it's human. Are you sure? I don't know. If we test it, maybe it's got some human DNA. I can't tell in between all the piercings. It looks like a cyborg, but it's all painted with the tattoos. I don't know. There must be a human in there. It speaks English. But this is just another little grain of evidence that people, well, hell, I remember driving out of Phoenix one time, Phoenix, Arizona, and there's a highway going north, and you all know it if you've driven it, because it goes up into the mountain, goes up one mountain range, and it goes down that same mountain range, and then you're off in a basin, and then you go up another mountain range before you get into Flagstaff. Well, going up that mountain range immediately north of Phoenix, you got all these old farts driving. They're trying to relive their youth. They're doing their bucket list. So there was nothing but Mustangs this one time. It wasn't even a convention. There's just a lot of Mustangs out there, the new ones. And sure enough, it's every old fart, gray hair, blue hair driving these things. And they're just creeping along. They're using their, the GT's got 8 cylinders, guys. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. I mean, you might as well just use 2. You might as well be driving a Trabi. Because that's all that happened. I mean, and I had some cheap, shitty rental. Some 4-banger, fuel-efficient things. I could go putz around, save money on gas. And I was just like Sturgis. I was running laps around these people. Because these people are too old to take full advantage of that vehicle. And so, don't even, look, if you're not going to use the Mustang, if you're not going to use the Corvette, right, then don't get one. Get yourself a Trabi. Get yourself a smart car. All right? There's no reason, and I'm not saying speed, but could you accelerate? That's all I'm asking for, people, is acceleration. Just get out of the way. Just accelerate off the line, give me that gap to get through, and then you could drive 5 miles an hour under the speed limit and still think you're Steve fucking McQueen driving that fastback over in Bullet. Herman, George, Chuck, whatever old fart names are out there. Because I tell you, you get me a GT Mustang, and I had one, I rented one, and I did, down in Dallas, and I took full advantage of it. You wouldn't see me going neck and neck with a full school bus. With the guy in a fucking Geo Metro raging behind the machine because he's only got a 3-cylinder engine and could still blow all of you off the line. How does a Mustang not beat a school bus? How does a Toyota Camry not beat a cement truck? But y'all can't. Nope, school buses, loaded up moving trucks, cement trucks. No, you can't beat that. No, because I don't know, do you have no place to be in your life? Are you completely unaware of the people behind you? But like I said, I didn't mean this to be, a thing, because back, in radio day, if you wanted to go and talk radio for something that was safe and would just be time filler, just complain about the cops giving you a bullshit ticket. And then you'd have a zillion callers coming in that want to tell their story about the cop that gave them the bullshit ticket too. But this isn't it. There's something happening to the average American mind, and it's not age. And maybe a lot of people are having kids now. But we gotta go really slow. I don't know. But you're all getting dumber. You're all driving slower. Or for us go-getters, for us people who got some hustle, or for us people who have a fucking place to be in life, you're in the way. You're in the fucking way. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe people are just in the way. They're just going through life, no point, no purpose. No hustle. Why do I... And I understand. I understand because, hey, look, I got a lot of free time. Heck, I think probably part of the reason I'm so tired and lacking of energy is because, once I knock out all my stuff, it's about 1, maybe 2 in the afternoon. But when I'm driving en route to something to run an errand or just driving around, God almighty, like, go. I don't know. Somebody who studies IQ and intelligence could probably tell me, some kind of demographer or something like that probably can, tell me a little bit more, provide some insight. And if you have insight, or if you just want to email the show, you can email me at cappedcapitalism@yahoo.com. That's capped, C-A-P-T, not Captain Capitalism, at yahoo.com. That will go to a cartoonist, and I'm sure he appreciates the mail, but he'll be like, hey, I don't know what to do with this. It's the abbreviation for Captain, C-A-P-T, cappedcapitalism@yahoo.com. You can send me the answer as to what the fuck is happening to people's IQs and why I got to suffer for it on the road. Or if you just have a question. A question! Here, all right. This is for you youngins out there. God, you want to piss me off. If you want me to go from 0 to pissed off the quickest way possible, this is what you do. You send me a long-ass email, which recently happened, and you ask me specific advice for what you should do with your life, okay? I'm not going to answer it, especially if the answer is in one of my books, okay? Look, here's how it goes, people. I have a ton of email that comes in, and I try to respond to every one of them, and I usually do. But when I got to read through 8 pages, and you finally get to the point, should I refinance my student loans at this lower rate? What the fuck do you think I am? Your personal financial advisor? Right? That's what you pay me for. There's a little button that says consult the captain. I got a cigar in my hand. My fossil hunting hat says need all help with matters all things economics, consult the captain. Click on that, pay me, and then I will waste my precious finite life reading through your 18-page email to get to the bottom of the thing and say, oh, he wants to know whether he refinanced or not. And then you could pay me for that. You could click on the PayPal donation, make a donation, and just like everybody else in the world that works, then we have transaction, then we have commerce. Okay, then I will help you. I am not, good Lord, Captain Capitalism? Am I like a fucking clinic? Do I look like I'm here to give charity away? Do I sound like a nice person that you dare ask for free advice? Right? Now, if it's cute, if it's something about dating, if it's something about, I don't know, something that would be interesting on the pod, yeah, send me an email. All right? Something that's cute. Don't dare ask me what you should major in. Don't you dare ask me that. Go and buy the goddamn book, Worthless. Right? The lesson, and here's, oh boy, you're getting really angry. Let me explain it why. Okay? This is the first test for you young people. Okay? This is the first test to see if you're going to be an adult. The real world is not going to kiss your ass and brown nose and give you everything for free. The socialists will, Barack Obama will, but the real world won't. And if you need help getting your car fixed, if you need help, I don't know, repairing your home, do you call up the plumber and say, hey, can you come over? And I got this. No, I'm sorry. Make sure to take up a good 15 minutes of his time on the phone explaining your life history and then ask him for some plumbing help. And then he just comes over and does it, huh? So this is your first lesson, kiddos. Nothing in this world is for free. Even the stuff that comes for free from Barack Obama and the socialists, somebody else is paying for. And since I got to pay more in taxes to cover that, I got to charge people, especially for my time. Besides, my time, that time I could have gotten through a quarter of an episode of. I've been watching these TV shows. God, I'm really starting to get into these early to late 60s. Oh, let's just call it late 50s to mid 60s television shows. And two I really like. I've told you guys about Peter Gunn. That's a great one. But one that two of them that I really like is called Combat, and the other one is 12 O'Clock High. And 12 O'Clock High is a series based on the movie with Gregory Peck. And man, those are good. But they're an hour each. And admittedly, especially 12 O'Clock High, it's got kind of this, soap opera angle to it a little bit. It's not like Dallas where, well, JR, someone's sleeping with your wife and trying to embezzle funds from the company, and it's your cousin who married your aunt. Ah! I don't remember it, but my mom used to watch that crap. I can never figure it out. But with 12 O'Clock High, they're trying to get the women to watch. There'd be like some romance plot in there, but it was very brief, ever so brief. It was relegated to the amount it should be, because then they had to go back up and get the Germans. That was the gunners. Then the bombers, and unless you were in a fighter plane, then you were back to there, and that was 12 O'Clock High. So I guess you don't have to watch it, but it's a good show. It's a really good show. Acting's good. I also like how everyone's dressed up in uniform. I like how everyone's sharp. It's not funny like Hogan's Heroes and they're kind of disheveled. They're supposed to be. This is like, hey, we're serious. We're going to go and kick some ass. Because you always watch those World War II TV shows or movies. The Germans are always impeccably groomed. Not a hair out of place. They were Nazis about being Nazis. They just had the perfectly sharp uniform and everything was... They could be in the middle of the battle, in the middle of the field, and and then the Commandant comes in and, Heil Hitler, and, was ist los, Oberst, and just always sharply dressed. The Americans always look like shit. We got the 5 o'clock shadow and the cigarette, and, that kind of was cool, too. But with 12 O'Clock High... everyone, of course, they're in the office, they're in the planes, they're all kind of, in their uniforms, not looking, but on the ground, man, everyone's looking sharp in that show. Combat, that's the bit. There you got Vic Morrow. You look at him, he's like the perfect grizzly sergeant with the 5 o'clock shadow and the cigarette, and, everyone's got their top, don't put the chin strap on, otherwise the thing will blow off your head, and that kind of stuff, so, and combat's pretty good. They always manage to get a good subplot going on. It isn't always we gotta go kill the Germans. They're over there. Okay, well, let's set up a perimeter or whatever. There certainly is that battle that always livens things up a bit. But they always have some kind of subplot or like one I was watching. This guy kept constantly freezing up in battle, and he was part of the underground. The Marquis, was it? No, the Marquis were the bad guys. Whatever, French underground. And they get caught by the Germans, and the guy doesn't want to die. He freaks out, and his brother ends up killing him to save France. So, I mean, it's pretty serious stuff there we got with that. But let's do some more sponsors. I keep getting a lot of sponsors here, which is a good thing, but I'm going to do this really quickly. All right, new sponsor, Marty Andrade, came out with a new book, Richard Nixon's Guide to the Multiverse. I haven't read it. He sent it to me. I'm in the middle of writing my own book, and I got like 3 books to get through for other people. So I have not reviewed this one. I have no idea what it's about, and I know that's not a great plug, but maybe you will. Maybe you do. Maybe you could send me an email, tell me what it's about and what you thought of it. You can get that on Amazon.com. That's Richard Nixon's Guide to the Multiverse. There's another book, As I Walk These Broken Roads. Of course, that's written by Davis Arini. A very good fiction book there. And not a book, but something that you do need, Silver and Gold through Miles Franklin. MilesFranklin.com is where you can go to learn more, but everybody does need gold and silver, or precious metals, let's just say, for at minimum, insurance purposes. So if you're worried about where the country's going, you're worried about the value of the dollar, don't worry no more. Go ahead, get yourself some silver or gold through Miles Franklin. You could call them at 1-800-822-8080. That is 1-800-822-8080. Just tell them the captain sent you or Cappy sent you. And MilesFranklin.com, that's spelled the exact way it sounds, like we do in America. Miles Franklin. There's no silent G or E at the end like the Brits like to do. Now, I'm going to tell you a story, but I have to be a bit vague about it, a bit clandestine about it, because I can't give away too much for privacy purposes of other people. But let us just say I went to a venue. I accidentally crashed a 20-year reunion, high school reunion, and it wasn't mine. Right? Now, what's interesting, though, 20-year high school reunion, is that means it's my age, my generation. I graduated in 93. Obviously, it's 2013, so the 20-year reunions, this is the year that my graduating classes across the country are having their 20-year reunions. Now, my curiosity was piqued a little bit because my school, I went to two high schools. One in Amory, Wisconsin. That's where I graduated from. That's where I graduated. I spent my senior year there. But the previous 3 years I was in Milwaukee. And I'm not joking, folks. My high school in Milwaukee had more people than the entire town of Amory, Wisconsin. So it was quite the culture shock moving from Milwaukee to Amory. And it sucked because it was my senior year. So technically I went to two high schools. The majority of my high school experience was in this high school in Milwaukee. But I graduated with the Hicks and the Sticks over in Amory, Wisconsin. Now, Amory, they had their 10-year or 20-year reunion, and I had no terrible allegiance to this school. People weren't necessarily bad. I just, I didn't have any allegiance. I really couldn't care less. And I found out that they did have their 20-year reunion, and it was lame. It was in a park. It was like bring beer, potluck, bring something to share, which I could understand being a smaller town, but, what do I care? The high school reunion I wanted to go to was back in Milwaukee, because that's where most of, my friends were. That's where I spent most of my time, and that's where most of the assholes were. And a lot of people, well, you were probably a nerd. Yeah, you're damn right I was. I was a nerd. And you're damn right. I want to see what these fuckers look like. Well, it kind of, you don't know it while you're in it, but you think, my God, these people are a bunch of assholes. And you think, well, if you're the nerd, you think everyone's an asshole. But no, there was something more beyond that at this school in Milwaukee. Like, these people were really fucking assholes. They were despicable people. And not just to me, but I remember this one girl, she was a nerd, and this group of gals just went out there and started beating the shit out of her. Until some people started intervening. And this poor gal, they just picked her because she was small, she had glasses, she was nerdy looking. And it was, you think, like, that can't be normal. It was almost like you'd see it on TV. Well, I come to find out, I said, well, this is the 20-year reunion. I don't remember them ever having a 10-year. I thought someone would have contacted me. Well, turns out that everyone hated each other so much at this high school in Milwaukee, no one bothered setting up a 10-year reunion. Well, now everyone's more mature. They're going to have a 20-year reunion. And there was a debate. I had a debate. Oh, do I really want to go to it? Yeah, it would be great to see these people. But then, as I mentioned before, you don't have to. Because you got Facebook now. Because you can go online and look and see, holy shit, they weren't joking back when I was younger. These people really do get older and uglier. Now, I'm looking, I would go and I would search. I'm like, holy shit, that's so-and-so? Wow. She ain't pretty no more. And holy shit, that's what's-his-nuts? Wow, he ain't throwing the football no more. It just, why go? So, I don't even know if they had it. I don't even know if it's still coming up. I ran into a student, a colleague of mine. What do you call it? Peer? I ran into a kid I went to high school with there. Back two times I was down in Milwaukee at a cigar lounge. And he said something about it, and are you going? I said, I don't know. I don't really know. But he said, oh, yeah, you ought to. But anyway, so I don't know if it was going on or not. And even if it was, I doubt I go. Because what's the point? I'm not really friends with any of these people. Most of them are assholes, and most of the assholes I've already looked up, and yeah, their lives are, you could tell, the smile on the girl's face, but no ring, and 3 kids, all looking different from one another, hanging on her, and that fake smile, like, I'm so happy, look at my children, I'm so happy. And all the guys, they're like, yeah, you're bald. And that's what happens. I mean, and for those of you who are younger and listening, and you're not exactly a prom king, I was surprised. They get their just desserts in the end. I was like, okay, that's what happens. So, keep your nose clean, go to school, work hard, blah, blah, blah. You'll do all right in the end. So, what was it? Oh, so at this place I had to be for reasons that will go unnamed. it just so happens that on the premises of this place, there's a 20-year reunion. And so I'm kind of like, all right, I'm not going to go to mine, but maybe I can use these guys as kind of like a proxy. I can kind of see what it is. Now, for me to be at this place, in purposes that I cannot mention, I have to shave. And I know some of you have seen me out there. You're going to say, well, you're kind of young looking. You should see it when I shave. And on top of it, until last night, my hair was very long. I just got a haircut last night. So I really had like the Christian Slater haircut going on. Not because I wanted to look like I did in the 90s, but it did get away from me. I've been meaning to have it cut for about a month. And normally my girlfriend cuts the hair, but she's been too busy. And I'm like, let's go. And now it's starting to get in the eyes, and it pokes your eyes, and it's at that very inconvenient length where it's not long enough to go past your eyes, but not short enough to not poke you in the eyes. So it's always poking you in the eyes. I'm like, dear, cut my fucking hair. I almost had to spend money on a haircut. That was close. It's $14. That's 3 shots of rumpy right there I save. So I had this skater cut going on. I was shaved, and I looked really young. And I know I looked really young because at this venue, I got hit on by 2 girls who couldn't have been no more than 23. They're definitely young, and they're drunk, of course, and they really liked me. So that was nice. Always good to get a little ego boost there. If I need to, I can always get the little 23-year-olds that talk drivel and nonsense, and then you kill yourself because you don't want to listen to them. So I'm younger looking than my peers. So I'm kind of incognito. I'm undercover. They don't know I'm one of them, the 20-year high school reunion people. So I just I crash it. I melt into the background. I'm kind of walking through, and I'm looking around, and the first thing that I notice is, even if I do have my 5 o'clock shadow, these people look old. They look old. All right? It's like the last vestiges of youth they're spitting out. You're like, that girl's kind of doable, but another hour from now, she's going to age too much, and that'll be over. It's the tipping point at that point. These people are hitting the wall, men and women. Men, all of them overweight. There wasn't a guy. I mean, yeah, there probably was a guy or 2 there, but they didn't stand out. I don't remember. I was kind of like, wow, look at these guys. They're overweight. And then, you're scoping out the girls, and you could just tell. You could tell who are the popular girls based on how they're dressed. And flashy, but their bodies no longer warrant it. They no longer deserve to dress up in that stuff that I saw them dress up in. And you saw the party girl, and she was taking pictures and selfies. We're taking selfies! Oh my goodness! Yo! Trisha! Oh my goodness! So I'm just kind of, observing, okay, and they're fine. Everyone's having a good time. There was a dance floor. Sure enough, all the fat women out there dancing like, that they're going to shake their booty. And then there's that one guy whose wife is forcing him to dance. And, if you threw him a decent left hook, he'd fall to the ground. And so I kind of just make my way back to the general or the commons area, as we'll refer to it henceforth. Now, the reunion is in this one area of the premises. And soon they have to evacuate this area of the premises and then go to another area of the premises. And that other area is the bar or the commons area. Right? So they close down at noon in that area they were before. They are then ushered or told to go to the commons area where they go to the bar. Now, the bartender announces that last call, he announces last call at 12:45, and that, 1 o'clock is the cutoff time for the serving of the booze. And I'm just kind of walking around doing what I like to do, and I get up into the bar area, and it's a freaking zoo. I mean, normally when I've been to these venues or these events before, people peter out, they go to bed, they go home, whatever. But this party was going strong. And we're in a public place, a public venue, and it's getting pretty late, and these people are, I'm not kidding, guys are going, woo! It's one thing if guys go, or girls go woo, because it's like what you fucking do. But when the guy's going, woo! woo! Then you know there's been a lot of booze consumed. And then, of course, the girls do a responsive woo. Woo! And I'm like, wow, this is what it's become. So I'm in the bar, I look around, and they're about 4 deep, lined up all the way around the bar, and there's only one bartender. And I'm like, there's no way they're going to get their booze. There's just no way. So I kind of walk around, and then I get the call, okay? Because I'm there for a reason, which I cannot say, but I get a call, and it's the bartender. The bartender says, I need your help. I said, what's going on? He's like, I got to get them out of here. No one's listening to me. They got to get out of here because I got to close down the bar, and we can't serve past 1. And it's like 12:59 at this point, right? So I go back to the bar. They're now 5 deep. They're like World War Z. The zombies are just clawing over the wall trying to get their booze. So I kind of muster and squeeze my way between the obese former cheerleader and the obese former football player, make my way around, and I say, okay, what's up? He's like, I can't get rid of it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not a big guy, but this guy is even smaller than me. And he just never had crowd control before. So I say, all right, let me handle this, and because they have rented the premises, but by law you have to evacuate the bar. And so I just start yelling. I'm like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, bar is closed. We need you to move to the atrium. You can drink there. You can have your own booze. You can do whatever. But the bartender, he has to close up shop. He's got to clean up, and he's got to get home to his wife and children. All right. Now, you would think these people are my age. They're 38 years old. Right? And this is where the epiphany or my observations or what I'm amused or bemused about, I don't know the difference. But it entertains me and saddens me at the same time. Because here you would think these 38-year-old people, 39 some of them I'd imagine, would have the maturity and wisdom and experience and the adultness, the adulthood, to say, oh, bar's closed, we gotta go. Right? Not by a long shot. First douche I deal with for the night. This cocksucking, preppy, got the actual fucking blazer. Wears the blazer, but no tie, but a dress shirt underneath. He's got fucking gold ring, they got gold chain on it, and just this cocky, preppy fucker whose face you would love nothing more than to bash in, because, see, here's what it is. You guys can't picture him. I can, because I've dealt with these assholes working in banking. This guy doesn't have a penny in his fucking name. I could just tell. He's such a cocksucking swindler, he doesn't have a penny. But that's how these type of guys get by. They're always smooth talking. They're always going for the extra thing. He's like, wait, the bar's closed? And he's right in front of me when I yelled out, the bar is closed. I said, yes, the bar is closed. Well, what if I just needed one more check? I said, I can't serve you. The bar's closed. All right? You would think, okay, adult mind. Oh, bar's closed, bar's closed. Light is red, light is red. Okay? The plane we missed, you missed the plane. But not this guy, no. He's a cocky piece of shit, probably a banker. He's probably a banker himself. So I've already sized him up. I already know this guy thinks he's better than everyone else. And he's used to getting people that, he's like, well, what if I want to buy a round for everyone at the bar? Completely clueless that me and this other kid, the bartender, have got to go and do some other shit. I said, you're not getting anything. He's like, well, how much would I have to pay you? I could pay you, I'd make it worth your while. And I looked at him right dead in the eye. I said, your money would not impress me. And then he got pissed. He realized, and that shut him up at least though. Right? So that guy inevitably goes away. Now, without me even being able to take a breath, the other guy now, probably ex-football player, 6'4", fucking big guy, comes up and he wants to file a complaint. Says, wait a minute, you ship us in here half an hour before the bar closes, and now you're telling us to ship out that we gotta, and we didn't even have a booze and no one told us, and by this time, I'm like, okay, this is how it's gonna be. I'm not dealing with 38-year-olds. I'm not dealing with adults. I'm dealing with motherfucking pieces of degenerate human DNA crap shit that have never grown the fuck up since 1991. They're still acting like fucking spoiled little rotten brats from the suburbs, like when it was fucking George Bush Sr. in office. And I said, and I didn't even give him a shot. I just said, bartender already announced it was last call 15 minutes ago. The bar is closed. We can't serve. There's nothing I can do for you. Well, that's not very good customers. And I was cutting them off. I said, you can file a complaint over there. And not like the nice, faggoty, modern-day, sensitive 90s man, corporate America type where we're always trying to make everyone happy and we'll just bend over and spread our ass cheeks so you can fuck us up the ass. I just looked at him dead, like cocky as hell. I said, file a complaint over there. Why don't I? Complaint desk right over there. You can file one. Getting right in his face. And what angered him is I'm not bigger than him. Like, how dare somebody smaller than him lord authority over him? Don't we know that he's a spoiled little piece of shit from the 80s? Don't we know that, like, Al Bundy, he threw for 4 touchdowns and won the fucking homecoming game of 1992 for junior varsity? That's what I was dealing with. So he knew he wasn't going to get it. So finally, the crowd starts to move. Because if you yell and, you're polite but firm, you can herd people. People will do what you say. So we finally get people to move out. They're slowly starting. But then we got the leftovers. We got the people who think that the rules don't apply to them. So now I got to go to each table. Say, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Still being polite. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to ask you to move to the commons area. We got to clean up this area. You could certainly take your drinks with you. Blah, blah, blah. And, I got the, oh, yeah. We know. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. Just hopefully they'll light enough fire underneath their bum. Then I got to go to another table, kind of usher them out. Then, you're going to love this. Imagine, stereotypically, the type of person that sets up the 10 or 20 year reunions. Okay, just think about that person. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You think about that, but I'm gonna come back and then you see if you got the same picture I do. All right, I'm back. All right, now you got this picture, right? You got this stereotype image in your head. You were 100% completely right. This obese, timid gal, who was kind of like maybe in marching band or something and had school pride! School pride! Yay! Go! Whatever the hell it was. Hang on, let me see if I can look it up. Hang on. Okay, here, I'll give you a hint. Pirates! Go Pirates! That girl, fucking nothing else going on in her social life. It's always a chick that sets these things up too. I don't know why. But you could see, like, go Pirates, pirate pride, yay, all right, we threw the ball, yay. So that gal, 20 years later, has got nothing else in life. Like, that was her peak, that was her high life. Now she's a fucking librarian or something. And now there she is like, ooh, good, we get to gather everyone and maybe have that pride again. Maybe we get to, like, wow. And even though she came up to me, she started apologizing. I'm terribly sorry. And then I said, that's all right, don't worry, we've been here before. So she goes on her way. And in that short, brief period of time, you could tell, you could have that insight because it just spoke volumes. That short interaction I had spoke volumes about her, about her life, and especially looking at this degenerate group of vermin acting like a bunch of, sophomores in high school. It didn't change since 1991, 1990, whatever. You could peg it. You could see it a mile away. So she comes in and okay, ladies, we have to leave. Then I go up to this other table. And this, we're indoors. And I thought I saw cigarette smoke. Well, it was one of these broads smoking one of them electric cigarettes. So, okay, that's fine. But who smokes the electric cigarette? So I come up this table, and you could tell just with how their eyes and eyebrows were set, they thought they were such queen shits of the whole party. And they were dressed really well. But again, their bodies did not, or no longer, were conducive to them dressing like that. So they had really nice clothes. They were really dressed to the nines, but they still didn't look good. But they're all done up, and one's smoking her cigarette. I'm like, ladies, sorry, we're going to have to ask you to leave. And the one lady takes a little electronic cigarette, and it says, yeah, we know. And I'm like, you don't fucking hear that. Now, I assessed, I looked, because I'm that good. There was like some TV show, like The Realist or The Truthist or something like that. Tim Roth, I forgot what, he observes everything. Pegged all 4 of them, not one wedding ring on their fingers. Right? So they're all dressed up. This, again, like the marching band woman who was going to go and set up the 20-year reunion, and this was her big to-do in the past decade. I think it was these gals, like this was their big to-do. They're going to go there, and they're going to show off, and they're going to do everything. So I'm like, all right, fine. And, you know, not asking them to leave again, just only if I have to. Sure enough, everyone slowly leaves, and they get out into the public commons area. Now, this is 1:15. I do not have to leave this place until 5 a.m. So roughly 4 hours or 3 and some change. I got to hang out around here, having a good old time, and just make sure nothing bad happens. Right? Now, I've done this before, and usually there's a disbursement. Usually when the booze is cut off, people go home. Right? But not this group. No, not this group. This group stays until I leave, which never happened before. And there's nothing wrong with it, that's fine. But what was wrong with it is what happened in that 4-hour period. There were a ton of complaints, right? People were loud. I understand being jovial, being fun, but they're still in a public place, and they are being so loud, people are filing complaints. It's 2 a.m., 3 a.m. People are just loud. And I could sit, and it was... The guys weren't that bad, but I did a tweet yesterday or 2 days ago where I came up with a new law, a law of physics, as it were, but not in physics. And it was that the older single women get, the louder they get at bars. And honest to God, that shrieking gaggle of women who are approaching 40, you know what I'm talking about? You're at the bar with your buddies having a good old time, and all of a sudden, oh my God! Tiffany! Oh my God! I know! Like, pay attention, we're still here, we're still relevant. No, you're not! You're not relevant! You're old! You're has-been! And no matter how loud you get, you are forever forgotten. That's it. Your peak was 2 decades ago. It's done. Your decibel level will not save you. Then stop it from trying. So there'd be this shriek, this laugh. You know, there's always that one that has like the most annoying laugh ever. And it stirs you at such a Darwinistic level that you really wish to commit murder. And I'm not joking, like, I could, no problem, just based on her laugh. Just like, oh God, she has got to die. We have got to get that out of the gene pool. I don't know, maybe it gave away people's positions for saber-toothed tigers. That could be heard thousands of miles across valleys and peaks, and then the saber-toothed tigers would come and wipe out the villagers. I don't know, I'm looking for some kind of Darwinistic reason as to why I so viscerally wanted to kill that woman. But whatever. And she had a choir with her. So that's going on in the background. Now, the 4 hoity-toity ladies, the one with the cigarette smoking, the fake cigarette, they're sitting there, and they're off into a different commons area. I'm just kind of walking around, sitting down, having myself a soda here or there, you know, just doing what I do. So I kind of make a round of the entire area. I come back, and I'm not joking, people. There's the 4 ladies. There's a guy who's all tatted up with a white t-shirt on. Blue jeans that are way too loose because he's bent over and his butt crack is... It's not like the plumber's butt crack. This is like, if it goes down anymore, I'm going to see the backside of his balls. And I'm like, okay, all right, this is good. And I almost wanted to go up and grab his fucking pants and yank him up and say, pull your fucking pants up. But that would not be appropriate at this place. So I just kind of laugh it off a little bit. I walk up and I just kind of take a position and lean and relax and kind of watch from afar what's going on. This guy is reaming this gal, a new one of the hoity-toity in the group of 4. And she is sobbing uncontrollably. I mean, he's just reading her the riot act. It gets so bad, and he's drunk, obviously. It gets so bad, his buddy's got to grab him and pull him away and, you know, pull up his pants in the meantime. And it was perfect because it's like, ladies, you think you're all hot shit, and you let something like this, you let a douchebag like this tatted up, pants down around the ankles, except he ain't black. That's the other thing. You know, I can understand, okay, and at least the brothers, they got some boxer shorts underneath. Alright? I'll give them credit on that. I still want to yank their fucking pants up, but this guy just took it to a whole new level. But this gal, she's letting this guy get to her. 20 years after the fact. I don't know what happened. How can you still give a shit what happened 20 years after the fact? To the point you care about crying. So it told me just how fake and shallow these girls were. They're still, I guess if you go to I guess that's one of the primary reasons I don't go to the 20-year reunion. Is because what's the point? Is your life that pathetic and sad that you got to go to the 20-year reunion? You got nothing else going on? Apparently so with these broads. So there was that little bit of an aside. But sure enough, the hours, literally hours go on. The herd finally starts to thin out. A couple people are so drunk they get lost. I mean, it was so bad, and just not acting like 38-year-olds whatsoever. Just not acting like 38-year-olds should. So it finally whittles down, and we're in the last hour, and I kind of take a perusal over to the last vestiges, the remaining, 12 people. And it was so sad because, again, almost 40 years old. These people have 4 decades of life. And if you ever feel bad or you have regrets about decisions you've made, I'm not talking bad decisions. I'm talking like, I could have played this one better. Like a lot of you out there, especially you boys out there, you're like, oh, I should have said this when approaching a girl. I should have tried that when approaching a girl. Oh, I totally goofed this up. And you beat yourself over the head. Well, you got to stop back and realize, if you're reading in the manosphere, you're going out, hitting the bars, hitting the clubs, gaming constantly whatsoever. You're in an upper league. You're in an elite league or an elite group. And you don't realize that the vast majority of people are not like that. Like, for example, a lot of people, let's say you were in honors. You just hang out with honors people the entire time. You're going to think you're average of intelligence because you're constantly surrounded by honors people. So you think you're average, but then when you get into the real world, you're like, holy shit, are there a lot of dumb people out here? So it's kind of the same thing here. You boys out there who think you're failing, you get shot down 9 out of 10 times, like, boy, my close rate's only 10%. Wait till I tell you this, kids. Wait till I tell you this, okay? Because I think you've all been there before. It's got to be 4 a.m., okay? There's about 12 people left. You want to know what the ratio of guys to girls was? There were 9 guys and 3 girls. And those 3 girls were not good looking. Now, you all know this scene before. You all know this scenario. You've been there. Because you're closing the party down. You ain't got no game. You ain't got no skill. You don't know how to approach women. The party is closing down. Everyone who's going to go off and fornicate has already gone off and is currently fornicating as you're trying to find out how to score with the last dwindling reserves of women at that party. But now, you got to compete with a group of guys. At a ratio that's very high. I don't know, 4-to-1 or 3-to-1. And I just kind of looked and observed and quiet in the back. And it was so sad. These guys are almost 40 years old. And they still don't know how to go and approach a woman. They still don't know how to close the deal. Hell, they don't know when to throw in the towel. Right? And like I said, we've all been there before. We were always there at that high school party or the college party or the nightclub where we're one of those last suckers and saps walking around like, well, when's the girl going to come up and start talking to me? How do I approach that girl? Right? That's when you're 20-fucking-1. These guys are almost twice that age. They're 30-fucking-8, 30-fucking-9, and they're still doing it. Right? Now, the reason I told you this story is not just to share an interesting aspect or interesting anecdote in my life, but to point out how sad. I keep saying for 38, they're acting immature. For 38, they're acting immature. For 39, they're acting immature. What scares me, though, based on what I see of my generation, this is how normal 38 and 39-year-olds act. Right? In other words, me saying for acting 38, for being 38, 39, they're really immature. I'm comparing them to a World War II generation style 38, 39-year-old who'd be a fucking colonel or lieutenant colonel back in those days. The sad truth is, most people in their 30s and 40s are still acting like they're fucking high schoolers. And the ramifications for you kids out there, or anyone who's younger, is these people are now your fucking boss. My generation are your teachers, your professors, and your bosses, and they are fucking stupid, and they are fucking retarded, and they have no fucking clue what they're doing. All that drama you see at parties where girls cry, they're still crying as the tatted up, butt crack, no boxer short guy rips this woman a new one. Alright? They're no more mature than they're still hanging out at that party. They're at a fucking 20-year reunion trying to score some play. Their lives have so pathetic, no meaning. They actually, I could see going to the 20-year reunion, like, seeing some old buddies, and then, like, 9 o'clock, 10, leave, because that's, oh, yeah, okay, how's Mike Jones doing? Oh, he's doing all right. Oh, there's Randy. All right, hi, Randy, how you doing? Hey, look at all the fat women that got fat. Oh, that's great. Okay, I gotta go. I got my life going on. These people, not them. And I'm not talking, here, let's talk percentages as well. Everyone was in the first room. Everybody went to the bar. There was no drop-off in the percent. You still had 100% of the people attending. Because 100% of the people had nothing better to do than hang out with people that have no relevancy to their life anymore and get hammered. And then act like immature, spoiled brats thinking that they're entitled to break the city ordinances of when bars open and close. To give people attitude, guff, and lip because they're being held to a standard. None of them fucking matured. And I guarantee you, if I went to every other 20-year high school reunion out there that's happening this year for the class of 93, they're going to be just as idiotic and sophomoric as when they were sophomores in high school. And for you kids out there that've got to deal with my generation, be it your teacher, your professor, your boss, your coworker, your supervisor, whatever, all right, unless you know them really well, if they're acting like unjust, unfair, they got attitude, or they're psychotic, they're not making any sense, they're being inconsistent, it's because they never fucking grew up. Right? That's it. That's why I want you to get out of this. They never grew up, they never matured, they never got wise, and they're still hitting on that fat obese woman at 3:55 a.m. because they got nothing else going on in their lives. I rip on the boomers, but my God, man, my generation is worse. It really is. And I apologize in advance for you Gen Ys and millennials. But hell, hey, yeah, everyone that listens to this podcast, you're a bit more wiser, mature, and self-reliant than anyone else in your peer group or your generation. But as a whole, Gen Y and the millennials are on track to be even worse than my generation. We just need a good old World War. No, we need the Chinese to invade, or like some kind of crushing economic crisis where we don't have food or water, and then I think everyone will really mature up. Let's talk about, what do we want to talk about? Sponsors here. Hey, I got an idea. Do you like this podcast? Can you see why I'll never get employed in the real world, and thus I have to rely on my own skills and guile? There's a word. Guile. Name of a fighter in Street Fighter 2. But guile means cleverness, craftiness. All right, I have to rely on my own creativity, right? So if you want the podcast and the writing to continue, it's going to continue anyway, why don't you go ahead and sponsor me? Buy a couple of my books. There's Worthless, Enjoy the Decline, Boris the Shitting Buffalo, and Behind the Housing Crash. I don't know if all of those would pertain to you, but you probably could benefit from one of those. And then also, if you really, if there's nothing I got that you want, because Amazon went the way, thank you, Mark Dayton, so we don't have the Amazon affiliate anymore. But if there's something that, if you really want to help out, but there's nothing I got to offer you, you could do two things. You could go ahead and make a donation, all right? I only need $190,000 left to pay off my house. So if you're really, you're some rich dude, and you just want, here you go, a PayPal donation of $190,000. That'd make the news. That'd make me very happy. You can donate, and you don't have to donate $190,000. You can donate whatever the hell you want. There's also, though, a subscription to the podcast. If you look on the blog, captaincapitalism.blogspot.com. You look below one of the pinup girls, you'll see that graphic image for PayPal. I recognize, there's that, the MasterCard, the Visa little logos there. And they'll see, you can click on a drop-down menu, you can donate $1, $2, or $3 per month. And that just basically sets up an automatic payment where you donate $1, $2, or $3 a month. I don't have it set, because I could set it to be $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, but I don't want it to be that much, because all I really want is to make enough money to pay for the hosting costs for the podcast here. So I think I got to come up with $10 a month. It's cheap. But if you want to be quote-unquote a subscriber, but you don't have a ton of money, that's another thing you can do. And then also, all you have to do is tell people about it. Tell people about the podcast. Forward the link. Go to the YouTube channel. Look at the shit I got going on. You find something that's funny, forward it around, because the more people that read, that that means the more money for me in the roundabout way. I need customers. Let's put it that way. I need readers are customers. They're clients. And so if I have someone now, over the lifetime, they might drop a whole whopping $100. Actually, if the average person, average reader were to drop $100, I wouldn't have to work. Heck, I don't have to work now. This is it, people. This is what I get to do. There's nothing else but this. Oh, what we got? Oh my goodness, we're at an hour. Wonderful, an hour. Oh God, what do we? Yeah, we'll give you some bonus stuff. I'll tell you a quick story. The girlfriend. She wanted this. I don't know about you. Chicks are different. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Chicks are different. If you have not noticed, pay attention next time, and you'll notice that there are some slight and subtle differences between women and men. There is. So, you may not have noticed before, but if you take the time and say, hey, yeah, there is a little bit something different. So, meanwhile, while I'm watching Combat and 12 O'Clock High, starring Vic Morrows and Rick Jason. Tonight's episode, The Fighter Pilot. That's funny if you've actually seen it. For everyone else who is not... In other words, only the baby boomer listeners are laughing right now, because they remember watching that back in the day, and that's what they would do. Combat, starring Vic Morrows and Rick Jason. Special guest star, Bob Bobson and Smith Smitherson. Tonight's episode... The Woman Who Wouldn't Shut Up. That's... It was kitschy 70s or 60s, man. It was great. Watch them. Just go on TV while you love them. They're great shows. So that's what I'm watching. Now, women, they want to watch Fifi Larie's house thing and Amy Jones cooking crap. And so my girlfriend, because she is female, she watches HGTV. And then she also watches... what's the other one she watches a lot? Another chick. There's the Home Network, and then the Cooking Network. Whatever. There's the Home Network where they do everything with homes, fixing shit up, reselling, and then there's the cooking stuff because my girlfriend likes to cook, right? And I'm not complaining. And truth be told, there's some pretty good shows. I like Property Brothers because I get to pick on my girlfriend as she salivates over these two guys. But I like to see how much money they make and things like that. It's not the worst stuff. The cooking shows I can do without, because it's so fake. It's so obviously fake and bullshit. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's always these cooking competitions, and it's so obvious they're cutting up the video to make it look like everyone's finishing at the last moment. It doesn't happen that way, people. It really doesn't. I really like Good Eats with Alton Brown. That's actually historical and very interesting. But the rest of this, it's like, only a chick would fall for this. Shut up, I know. Women know they're being lied to, but like it nonetheless. So, there you are. But anyway, so she's into these homes because neither of us are going to ever afford any of these homes. And whenever they're filming these things, a lot of Canadian homes for some reason. I mean, you'll have the most douchebaggiest looking of couples. They're poor. One's missing an eye. The other one's missing a leg. The kids are malnourished. The dog is also missing a leg and an eye and kind of limping. And they come in, and then the Property Brothers, they'll go, and Drew he's the realtor. He says, well, I've looked for some houses within your budget, and I've found 5 houses all within your $570,000 budget. I always look at the budget and the people and say, how the fuck do they afford $570,000? And where the fuck in Canada is it? And then you see the house and it's a shithole. It's like, where the fuck is this? Who the hell afford? How is that $570,000? So then everything gets redone, and of course they're just marketing it to chicks so that they, oh look, a $500,000 house and $250,000 in shit we don't need to furnish it with. Let's go spend money, yay! So she looks at it in a longing sense, because she knows she's never going to have that, especially hanging out with me. And I just as I would longingly look at, I don't know, a chopper that I'd really like, a customized chopper like over at Count's Customs, if you watch that show. So it's not going to happen. Like, okay, better yet, like me looking at a P-51 Mustang, the fighter plane, not the car. It's like just some eye candy. Let's just watch this. So she always wanted, I don't know what it's called in other towns, but in Minnesota it's called the Parade of Homes. I guess it's also called Open House or whatever. But she's been nagging. Not nagging, she wants to go. You know, guys, you got yourself a good girl, you should treat her right. And go do things that the girl wants to, within reason. Go do things the girl wants to do within reason. Like, I don't shop. No. You go. They'll take, I'm not joking, this is so repetitive, but you know it. They will take an hour to find fucking jeans. And then they'll spend 3 hours to save $5 with a coupon and $8 in gas driving to the different malls. And you could tell them, you could put it into a PowerPoint presentation or a mathematical theorem in Excel. They'll still fucking just like, shit, stop fucking cutting the coupons. Buy the fucking jeans. So I won't do the shopping, but I will do things like, she want to go to a winery thing. She actually loves to go. This is what's cool about many things are cool about my girlfriend. But she loves going on brewing and distillery tours. So when we were in Denver, I think we hit a whiskey distillery and 2 beer distilleries. Well, hey, you could do that. It's all right. All right, you want to go? Let's go to the beer distillery And she always, and it's kind of cute. We'll go to a new town. Yeah, we did. We went to Raleigh-Durham, and then there was a winery. She's like, let's go do the tour. And we got there, and they had just closed down. We missed it, dear. And, I know. Well, when we come back, we'll get it next time. Okay, so you do things with the lady within reason to make her happy. So one of these things was the Parade of Homes, and I have the benefit, like if I was working full-time and had shit going on, and we weren't in the neighborhood, I'd be like, woman, get the hell out of my face. I want to sit here, and I want to watch Combat, damn it, starring Vic Burrows and Rick Jason, with special guest stars Don Rickles and Telly Savalas. Tonight's episode, Where the Fuck is My Cup of Coffee? So, I go. All right, let's go. As if torturing ourselves watching shit on TV that we're never going to be able to afford. Let's go look at it in real life for the crap we're never going to be able to afford. So we go to this place down south, Lakeville area, and there's these 2 homes, and we'll just say she works in the biz. So and actually we've done this before. I've ran into my buddy, my realtor, showing a house at the Parade of Homes. And so we go, and we're in this. You ever see Face Off with, what's his name's? Dancing guy. John Travolta and, I can't remember his name. Whatever. There's a scene where John Travolta is the bad guy, and he drives through the suburbanite neighborhood and can't find the fucking house because it all looks the same. It was like that. It wasn't really cookie cutter. I'll give these people some credit. They're trying to do angles and cul-de-sacs, and the houses are different colors. But I'm looking at them like, Jesus Christ, what the hell is this shit? So we're following the signs, and we get to the first house, and we walk in, and sure enough, there's the lady sitting at her desk, and hello, well, fake, Minnesota nice. Hello, welcome. And not that she was being evil or mean, but, she's got to do that. So, and hi, how are you? Wonderful. Well, welcome to the Columbian or the Equestrian. They always got names for the layouts. Like, this is the Columbian model. And this is the Salvadorian model, and here's our syphilis model. That's we could. Yeah, next time I become a home developer, I'm just going to name it after venereal diseases. This is the gonorrhea model, and here's the HIV model, and here's the syphilis model. And yes, this has some extra garage space as opposed to the base model, which is just the herpes. So we go in, and okay, let them do what they want, guys. Is she a nice girl? Yes. Does she cook for you? Yes. Does she stay in shape? Yes. Does she tolerate your bullshit? Yes. Then let her walk around. So she's walking around looking at these things. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently they do this thing called staging. Because the house looked really nice on the inside. Outside was fine, inside was fine. But it's all like color-coded and everything, and they got furniture. So she says, well, this one just sold for $479,000. I'm like, oh, that's a bit steep. And I look around, I see all the stuff. I said, so the stuff comes with it, right? She's like, no. So I'm like, wait, all this $479,000, you don't get to keep the stuff? Well, no, this is staging. They actually store these houses full of furniture that looks to be like the perfect shit for that house to help sell it. And there had to be at least, I don't know, 50 grand worth of shit in there. So you don't even get the shit. You just get the house. And then that gives your wife or your girlfriend the opportunity to piss away another 150 grand on crap to furnish the house. So I always thought it was a kind of a prepackaged deal. Like if you had a bunch of your shitty bachelor furniture and you want to get rid of it, well, hey, look, it's all new. It's all taken care of. I don't care what it looks like. It looks better than my dump. So apparently you don't get to keep it. Anyway. So the girlfriend's walking around, I'm walking around, and I'm looking, I got a small place. I mean, I do not have and it's an alright place, but I'm in a town I really like, but it's nothing fancy. I mean, and you guys know me, I got rid of my bed. I was down to a futon, I was down to my computer desk was the only thing I had. I had it down to minimalism, perfection. But, walking through, I'm like, holy cow, this is a big house. And I started, something didn't add up. The math didn't add up. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. There's a lot of these houses, and this is, quote, the base model, but the average family to fit in here would have to be like 4 or 5 kids, which people just aren't having. So how are they selling it? Well, it turns out houses nowadays, you don't just master bedroom for mom and dad, and then a room for each kid, and then maybe a bathroom or two. No, you got a den, they got a study, which I guess are separate things. Then there's the living room, there's the dining room, there's the kitchen, there's the ancillary room, there's the sunroom, there's this room, there's that room. So I'm looking at these houses, not in terms of, well, where can I put my office, where can I put my den? I'm looking at these things like, how many people could I rent out? How many people could I fit in here? And then what could I rent out to on a monthly basis to actually afford a $500,000 house? You could easily house 8 or 9 people in these damn things. Easy. But apparently they're not selling that. Well, that's not what they're selling. Who has 8 or 9 kids? Somalis have 8 or 9 kids, but they don't have the money to afford $500,000. So then this gets me the question, are there really that many people that can afford $500,000 house? Because last I checked, the economy's not doing that great. But these people, especially with the new banking lending standards, we're probably not going to have another housing bubble. Because knowing what I know, there's none of this, lend me the money to make 12 houses. It's lend me the money to make 2 houses, and then when those 2 houses sell, we'll pay down our line, and then you could advance me the funds for 2 more houses. So that's how it's kind of working in the banking world now. So in other words, these houses are actually selling. There are people out there spending $500,000 on a home. And this is not the hoity-toity ritz. This is Lakeville. Look it up. It's pretty cookie-cutter, boring America. It's not luxurious, and it's not dumpy either. It's very nice homes. But then it hit me. It finally hit me. These aren't rich people. They're not. The people that buy these homes are not rich. And the epiphany that hit me at that point in time, which then gave me a good argument to argue with my girlfriend later about how it is stupid to buy a house like this is how you get the beta wage slave. This is how you get the beta wage mule. This is the biggest mistake that most Americans make. They are in debt for the rest of their lives. The house doesn't come for free, people. It's not like these are rich people that have $500,000 in cash just laying around to go buy this shit. These are people that need to work the 2 jobs. This is where the hubby and the wifey, hubby goes, works his engineering real job, wifey goes, works her bullshit HR government social worker job where she still acts as a mother to other women's children while she ignores her own and ships them off to daycare. That's where we were. We were at ground zero for that shit. And I figured it out. The light went on. These people aren't rich. They are maxing out the amount of money they can borrow, and they're enslaving themselves at least for 30 years. This is where divorce is made. This is it. It's the divorce factory right here. Here we go. Financial stress causes divorce. This is how divorce is made. Right here. Ground zero, the epicenter. We found it. And so I just kind of, and then, you kind of get the wool taken off your eyes. I looked around, wow, so this is what it's all about, huh? This is what it is. And then I looked around, I kind of noticed, I looked at other houses that were built and finished, and I've seen the houses, like, there's the cars are in the parking lot because the kids got so much toys in the fucking garage. Garage is open, all these bikes and basketball hoops and things like that. It reminded me back to when I was, I don't know if I told people this, but I used to wash windows back in the day, making ends meet. This was during the dark times, probably 2005, 2006. And I got to see the insides of a lot of these houses, a lot of these McMansions. And it's all, none of these rooms are used. None of those toys are used. All these kids, they got these toys, and they're just in a room, collecting dust, never using them. But little Jimmy wanted it at that moment, and so I had to buy it for him, because nothing's too good for my little Jimmy. It's all bullshit. All the emphasis put on having every amenity, having every room, having every little toy you want, when your fucking family is right there. That's what matters. Oh, so it was just and seriously, I guess what I'm recommending for all of you, if you got a parade of homes, and not in like what you know, because everybody knows their local town a little bit better than everyone else, but if you have the parade of homes and it's not in the elite super rich neighborhood, just go to like a regular cookie cutter neighborhood and tour one of these homes, because I tell you, it is a testament to many things that's wrong. Am I against living in the suburbs? No, I live in White Bear Lake. It's a suburb. Am I against people having luxurious houses? No, not at all. Am I against you buying your kids shit? No, not at all. But why? You should be spending time with your spouse, with your kids. You should be going out playing baseball. But that's not possible when you saddle your family, and you are saddling your family, your entire family, with a $500,000 mortgage. Now both parents have to work. You are hugely strained. I mean, hang on, let me check some. I'm going to go on the internet here. Give me a break. Okay, so here it is, guys. $500,000 mortgage at 4%. I'm going to assume optimistically 4%. 30-year term. That's $2,400 a month. And that doesn't say nothing about insurance or property tax, which is probably sky high. I mean, you're talking at least $3,000. $3,000 a month? That's what, 36,000? 36,000 a year for a mortgage. I mean, that wipes out one person's income right there. So 2 people do have to work. And heaven forbid you have kids, and you got to feed them. And of course you would if living in these rooms or these houses. So so do yourself a favor. You want to go and you want to see where the problems begin and how you could shoot yourself right in the foot. Go look at these houses that people are buying up. I mean, the economy is not strong enough. I am that good of an accountant. I can intuitively tell you that the people that are buying, there's not enough people to be buying these houses on a comfortable margin. They are stretching it. They are freaking stretching it. And there's, yeah, it's just, there he is. It's the divorce factory. So, all right, that's going to be it for the podcast, guys. Let me tell you a little bit of something here, though, before we take, do I have an idea? I take that back. I'm going to go on the internet, and I'm going to find the introduction to Combat, so you can see why I'm so freaking funny. But before that, before we sign off here, I'll tell you this. I am writing the new book. Next book is going to be coming out. I'm aiming to have it done by Thanksgiving. The title of the book I'm keeping top secret until later on, but it is basically the financial advice Bible for young men and women. It's for all ages because it's universal, but let's put it this way. It's going to benefit, the younger you read it, the better off you are. So like if you, ideally you'd read this at 14, even though some of the vocabulary might be over your head, you'd be infinitely better off than someone reading it at 40. But if you're 40 and you're like, dude, what the hell? This is still the book to get. So, and it's coming out very well. So, but I am going to be doing a fair amount more of videos on YouTube than hard-hitting writing pieces because it's, videos are easy. I just go on and yell like I do this podcast. And I pick a topic, I talk it, and then I link it, and everyone's happy. With writing, though, it's not only does it take more time where you got to polish it and write it out on the blog. If you write pieces on the blog and then you write in the book, you burn out on writing. You only have a certain amount of creativity. Otherwise, the writing becomes very stale, and I don't want you guys reading stale stuff. Not that I would write stale stuff, but I like to put a fair amount of effort into my books. That we do that there. So, that's all we got. Go out, enjoy the decline, and remember, men, force, discipline, and regiment nuts. All right. Force, discipline, and regiment month. Also, go check your nuts in the shower. Make sure you ain't got that testicular cancer. Toodles.